Welcome in, everybody. This is episode 26 of, go ahead and join us because you know you want to.
Biz Rizz.
Yay!
It's like being on a roller coaster, Amy.
Well, I mean, it's just fun. We like to have fun
Yep.
here. All right. So as you know, we take a question, we answer a question. So let's look at the question for episode 26. Here it is.
Hey, my name's Lucia, and my question is, do you need to relocate for a job in sports?
This is interesting because there's two answers. There's two answers for this. So do I need to relocate for a job in sports? Celeste?
Well, I know I needed to. I came from a really tiny town in American Falls, Idaho. There was a station though, Amy, 45 minutes away, so I guess I could have stayed. But I felt like for what I wanted to do in production and to grow in management, I really needed to move. So after LSU, I went to Atlanta, worked for CNN Sports Illustrated for a year and a half, met a cute boy, said I need to go work there in Los Angeles to follow him. And it ended up working because we got married. But so jumped over to Fox Sports in Los Angeles. I was there for a long time. Then I went to Vegas, and I also went to Boston and worked at Fenway, right, with Nesson. And now I am with Valley Sports. So for my career, Amy, I really did have to jump around. I felt like it helped me to upgrade when other people left to get into those management roles, because some of those management roles at the top are harder to come by. And honestly, you know, to make some of that money, sometimes you need to move to make that happen, to just like get the experience that people want. You're just not going to get it sometimes staying in the same place. Like if I would have stayed in LA, I think I could have become an SVP next. And then after that, I don't think I would have gone anywhere else. So it was really important for me to continue to grow as a person. As you and I both talk about, we're so curious, we're natural sponges. So I think it really helped my career in management and production to jump around the United States.
Yeah. It's actually a fascinating question because there's so many different ways to look at it. So in general, I would say the answer that I would give for that is be ready to move, be flexible in possibly moving, but I wasn't. So I'm kind of a hypocrite in a sense. I somehow was able to stay in the same state, California, for my entire sports journalism career. I did move. I moved from Northern California to Southern California and back to Northern California. I was lucky enough that, you know, in LA, there are all these networks. And so that's where I met Celeste, and I got my first job in sports at Fox Sports Net in Century City. But then I got a hankering to want to be back home. And I was fortunate enough that home was close enough to a large city with multiple teams that I could make it work. It was not easy if we're really getting down to the nitty-gritty of where I live versus where the Giants are, you know, proximity wise, it's about 38 miles, but the drive can be up to an hour and a half to get there, depending on traffic. You know, you got two bridges, you got two ways to get there, two ways to get out. But for me, I had a different drive both Celeste and I were married. And that has something to do with it too. Like, you know, we're married to people in sports. So you also need to consider their careers and if they're going to need to move. So throw that in there. I was ready to have children. And so for me, what was more important at that time was being back home in my community near my family. Should I not continue working in sports, I had that. So I established the family unit first and kind of made it work around where I lived and dealt with a long commute and, you know, for 13 years, many late freezing nights coming home from Oracle Park, which I wouldn't change any of it, but I didn't have to move. So it depends on the person, on what your heart is set on. If you are a homebody, think about that. Like, are you going to be okay if you're from Idaho and you have to go to New York? Because you can make sports work really wherever you are, I believe, if you're going to go like local. You know, right here in North Bay, we have a Sonoma Stompers team, which is a collegiate bat league. Is it the Giants? No. But is it working in sports and a team that makes money and you get a job there? Absolutely. And a great place to start, whether you want to be an announcer or work game day operations or whatever, those things are in small communities. So I guess the answer is maybe.
Yeah, and I think just, you hit the nail on the head. I think it is about the strategy and just being honest with yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I remember the day you told me you were moving up, and I was like, my heart was broken, but at the same time, I knew you were going to make it, right? I'm like, she's going to make this happen. She's going to make this work. This is
Mhm.
what she wants. And I really believe as women, when we get clear on what we want, things tend to happen. It's
Yeah.
just sometimes we have that hard time of getting clear. So
Yeah. And having conviction in that choice. Yeah.
right.
Because you're always choosing to not do something when you choose to do something. So something has to
Right.
give.
Yeah.
But yeah, the answer to your question is maybe. I hope that was helpful. I think probably with both of our experiences that people will relate though, for sure, because it can really
Mhm.
go anyway. But be ready to move if you work in sports. And if you have a question and are listening and are interested and want to know something else from Celeste, who has this fantastic background in production, and my background has been mainly on camera, let us know, because we have kind of done it all. And we'll see you next time on
Biz
Biz
Rizz.
Rizz.